Lil Wayne versus Kendrick Lamar. Does it make sense right now? And if so, what is the purpose of it? What is the reasoning behind it in the first place? Welcome back to the Voiceovers Podcast. I'm 24K Logan. So before I give my overall opinion on this topic, let's touch on a brief timeline of events that happened between Kendrick and Lil Wayne that led to us even having this discussion in the first place. So of course, on September the 8th, Kendrick Lamar announced on Twitter and released a trailer on YouTube stating that he will be performing at the 2025 Super Bowl halftime show held in New Orleans. However, of course, with the great Lil Wayne being from New Orleans and obviously being one of the greatest rappers of all time, a lot of people were in a huge uproar due to this announcement. Not too long afterwards, Wayne made an announcement in a video stating that he felt that the moment was stripped from him and that this was something that he's been waiting to do for his entire life. It got to the point where you had Kendrick fans tearing down Lil Wayne and you had Lil Wayne fans tearing down Kendrick. And the topic was almost as big of a discussion as Kendrick versus Drake. Not as big, but almost as big. And then on November the 22nd, Kendrick Lamar releases G and X. And on Whacked Out Murals, which is the first song, of course, Kendrick says, "I used to bump the Carter 3. I held my Rolly chain proud. Irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down." Now, a lot of people took this as a diss, but in all honesty, I do not believe this was a diss at all. First of all, we know that Kendrick Lamar has paid great homage to the ones that came before him, including Lil Wayne. We know that he's a Wayne fan and that Wayne is actually one of his influences and inspirations in terms of hip hop. He did not diss Wayne. If you really look into it, the same way he said, "let Lil Wayne down," is almost like when J. Cole said, "let Nas down." Now, I can see how some people would perceive this as Kendrick is sneak dissing Wayne or dropping some type of subliminal towards him in a negative way. But again, this just simply was not a diss. It wasn't. And then there was rumors that Wayne had tried to call Kendrick to see what was up. Kendrick didn't answer the call, and Wayne went into the booth and recorded a track towards Kendrick. Now, I'm going to say this. As a fan of both of these guys, I really don't want to see a battle. I understand hip hop is a competitive sport, but something tells me while this might not get as personal as Kendrick versus Drake, I do not believe that this will be a battle strictly about who's the best MC, who has the best wordplay, the best rhyme schemes, the best punchlines, the best bars, whatever the case may be. I simply do not believe that that is what this battle is going to be about. I believe that somehow, some way, both of these guys will find ways to dig up some type of dirt on each other, unfortunately, and it's going to be maybe not another Kendrick versus Drake, but it's going to be another situation where instead of focusing on the art of hip hop, instead of focusing on being the best MC, it's going to get very personal. And with all respect to Lil Wayne, because Lil Wayne is one of the greatest rappers of all time, I just don't know if Wayne is in the space that he needs to be right now to get in a full-on battle and war, musically, of course, with Kendrick Lamar. Now, I could be wrong. Again, Wayne is one of the greatest rappers of all time. I have him number 3 on my list, to be exact, if I'm being completely unbiased and objective. And I would say that both Wayne and Kendrick are amongst the 10, maybe even the 5 greatest lyricists rhyme for rhyme of all time. Now, if this was 2008 Wayne, Carter 3 Wayne, Carter 4 Wayne, I think that Wayne would slightly have the edge over Kendrick, although I can't say that so easily because we've seen what Kendrick can do in a battle. We've seen what he can do on the mic and with his pen. One of the greatest lyricists ever. So that's kind of a hit or miss situation. But right now, at this moment, with where Wayne is at and where Kendrick is at, I could be wrong. I just don't see a scenario where this is the smartest move for Wayne. Wayne could definitely hold his own. Again, he's one of the greatest rappers of all time. End of discussion. But with how high Kendrick is right now, the momentum that he has, he is essentially hip hop's boogeyman right now. Kendrick is war ready for anybody that comes his way. Of course, strictly talking about the music. And I just don't see a scenario right now where anybody wants to really get involved in something with Kendrick. This is not a video trying to glaze Kendrick or make him out to be whatever. I just don't think that getting in a beef with Kendrick Lamar right now, considering the run that he is having, I just don't think that works out for Wayne too well. Although Wayne could hold his own, and I think he will hold his own, knowing how crazy of a spitter that he is. So in all honesty, I don't want to see this happen. Not even because I think that Kendrick wins. I don't see how it makes sense, mainly because with what Kendrick said about Wayne or towards Wayne on Whacked Out Murals, I simply do not believe that that was a diss. I don't think that is enough of a reason for Kendrick and Wayne to get into a battle. The only scenario that I see of them getting in a battle is that Wayne comes out with a track and very obviously mentions Kendrick, and it is a clear full-on diss towards Kendrick. In that regard, Kendrick has every right to respond. I would expect him to respond, and we just see what happens from there. But unless that happens, with the amount of respect that Kendrick has for Wayne, I don't see why they get into a beef. Kendrick won't be the one to start it. It would be Wayne. I don't see Kendrick dropping a diss track towards Wayne. Now, with how calculated Kendrick is and how unpredictable he is, he might already have a track off to the side for Wayne right now in case in the event of a war between them. That could be a thing. I wouldn't be surprised. But I just don't see that happening. Now, one thing that we all can agree on, Kendrick has been on a hell of a run this year. And with the recent announcement of the Grand National Tour with him and SZA starting in April, I think it's only going to get bigger from here. It's only going to get bigger from here for Kendrick. But I really do not want to see a battle between him and Wayne. I mean, it's almost like going to war with one of his idols, somebody that he has a huge amount of respect for. And we know that Kendrick has always paid homage to the people that came before him. Wayne came into the game in the late 90s. Kendrick came into the game in the late 2000s. A 10-year gap. And I don't think we've never really seen that in hip hop, other than maybe Eminem and MGK, where we've seen a rapper from a completely different era going at someone from an era before them. But I just don't see that happening between Kendrick and Wayne unless Wayne actually drops a full-on diss track, because I don't see Kendrick dropping a full-on diss track. But overall, those are my thoughts and opinions. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Comment down below what you think about Kendrick versus Wayne. Who do you think would win? Do you think this makes sense for hip-hop? Is this a good thing for hip-hop? Is this a bad thing for hip-hop? We have plenty of content on the way. Once again, I appreciate you all for watching. And until next time, peace and love to everybody.